Yeah, I have played through almost all of the Ratchet Clank games. Have I mentioned I've not played All for One? That's another Ratchet Clank game I've not played. And that's another game that is available on the PlayStation 3, and it's also available via streaming on the PlayStation Network. But again, I'm not going to stream the game. You know, if anything, I'll just acquire a physical copy and play it here on the good old PlayStation 3. And even then, I've not played that one before, so who's to say? Who's to say if that game is any good? I've also noticed a lot of slowdown during these diving sections. Why? I think that's just a quirk of the PlayStation 3 version of this game. It's just strange. Also, you may notice a bunch of missiles raining upwards trying to hit you and murder your face. One thing to keep in mind when it comes to these missiles is that the red ones are the ones you need to avoid. The other ones that are shooting straight upwards, don't worry about them. They're just decoration. Although, I think they can still hurt you if you happen to run into them. So, be sure to keep that in mind. Having that extra armor would most certainly be nice right about now. But unfortunately, since I elected to not go after those additional things in the sewer, well, clearly I'm gonna be broke for a while. But, you know, it is what it is. It ain't a big deal. We can still acquire bolts in a number of ways. Hell, in plenty of ways, actually. Hell, I could always replay certain events just to acquire new armor, or just to acquire more bolts, and or just acquire the armor. Do I have the PlayStation 3? Yes, I do. It's the reason why I'm even playing the game right now. I refuse to pay for PlayStation Plus Premium just to stream the game on the PlayStation 5. Yes, that would be more convenient, but when it comes to streaming the game, you have to remember you also have to deal with input lag that is increased even further because you're streaming the game. You have to have a stable internet connection all the time to even be able to play the game. If the game was available on the PlayStation 5 and I was able to buy it a la carte and just be able to download it and play it locally, that would be different. I wouldn't mind repurchasing all the games again if I absolutely had to. But since you can only stream PlayStation 3 games via the PlayStation 5, and you can only do so via the PlayStation Plus Premium subscription, that kinda blows. So that's why I had to dig out my old PlayStation 3 and also my physical copy of this game, or more or less the collection. So, yeah, annoying, yes, but it is what it is. My copy still works perfectly fine, and we're still good. Okay, come on, hit the dude. Can we please just stop playing Hot Rope Jump? No? Okay. Cool. Max nanotech increased. Sweet. This thing sucks when it comes to trying to... It really does stink when it comes to trying to do something. I cannot say what it is. I don't know why I can't think of the words right now. Wow, that sure took a while for that thing to spawn. No big deal. I gotta say, this weapon right here, it really does require a lot of weapon XP just to be able to level up to level 2. I mean, holy moly. Do you not see how big of a problem this is? Okay, screw this. Jeez. pain in the ass. Am I more of a Nintendo guy? Not really. I'm more of a Sony pony. And not trying to make a joke here. But yeah, I do prefer a lot of PlayStation games over anyone else in the big three. But my second favorite would be Nintendo, for sure.
Go, Ratchet. Get across that bridge.
Sounds good.
To access your world map, press select or R3.
Yeah, I kind of knew that already. Thanks. But yeah, a world map, being able to view that right now is pretty handy. Just saying, you never know. Might as well get some more ammo while we're here, and some additional bolts too. You know? You never know. Also, I'm pretty sure in future Ratchet and Clank games, these armor vendors will also act as like a free heal for you. So, if you need to recover some health, then you can go to a vendor and just recover your health there for free. At least I think that's how it works. And again, maybe you have to pay for it. Oh, nice miss. Nice miss. Let's try this. Gotta love friendly fire. I noticed that quite a lot with when it comes to this game. Friendly fire is very, very much nice. And no, we're not talking about the weapon that makes it so enemies turn on each other. Like mindless gremlins. You know? I'm talking like in general. If that wasn't a delayed death, I don't know what was. One thing I could try to do when it comes to leveling up this weapon is maybe wait until a future planet before I even attempt to do so. One way I could do it. One way I can go about doing so. But better to try to do this now versus waiting till later. You think you say that because I never played Halo. Halo is good. I suppose it is. I never really gave it a fair shake. I actually bought Halo 3 before, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. Maybe it was because I started at Halo 3 and didn't play through the rest of the series first, like through Halo 1 or Halo 2 or Halo 3. I just got bored. I just got bored of the game and just stopped playing. It also didn't help that the matchmaking wasn't anything like, say, Call of Duty. It wasn't as streamlined as that. But even so, just saying. What can I say? I have my own preferences when it comes to games. And just the multiplayer aspects of them. You know? Let's see. Well, I can technically return to the Starship Phoenix to buy the new armor. But you know what? I think I am going to go ahead and do that. I thought I would be able to exit the mission via the mission menu, but no, technically we're not on a mission. I really wish I could just simply... I wish I could buy armor from the vendors here, but I can't do that. But yeah, like I was saying, I tried Halo 3, I tried playing that for a while. Didn't really get far when it came to the campaign. I think I played through a couple of missions, and then I was like, this really isn't for me. It's not that the game was bad or anything, far from it. It was fun from what I played, it just didn't click with me. I just wasn't interested, that's all. Again, that's nothing against Halo 3 or just the Halo series in general. It's just, again, not my cup of tea. Not my jam. Alright, let's buy the new armor now. And there we go. New armor acquired. I think it was known as the adamantine armor. Pretty nice, all things considered. Well, now that we finally acquired the new armor, let's actually get back to work. Get back to the mission at hand. Now, shall we? Have I ever considered have I ever considered becoming a VTuber? Well, I have looked into it, and acquiring a decent VTuber model is really damn expensive. And I'm not exactly rolling around in cash. Although, if you want to help me acquire something like that, you can always donate to me via my coffee, or if you don't feel comfortable exiting Twitch, you can instead become, you can choose to subscribe to my Twitch channel and help me that way. Not only will you be helping me financially, but you'll also be able to use some cool emotes that I actually drew myself. And you'll be able to use them all across Twitch. So I'd say that's a bit of a win-win. At least I think so. What do you think? I mean, I got all different kinds of emotes here. Heck, I'm trying to acquire enough subscribers on Twitch so that way I can make even more emotes, or just have I have access to more emotes. Speaking of emotes, I even made my own animated emotes as well. Heck, I may even go ahead and show them off if I can. Once the computer decides to allow me. I got that right now. Well, worry about this. And we'll just do it via stream deck. So, I have a series of follower emotes which you can use just by simply following me on Twitch. These are the follower emotes of which you'll be seeing here. Here are all my tier 1 emotes, including the animated ones. I know I haven't filled up all of my animated emote slots. In fact, I'm actually going to be remaking this one right here. As far as additional animated emotes, I have one more in the pipeline. Here's my tier 2 emote, which I will be remaking that and making it into something new, along with tier 3. I also have bit reward emotes too. So this one is for 1,000 bits, this one is for 5,000 bits, and this one finally is for 10,000 bits. And of course, the more bits people here, the more slots I will have available. Oh, there you go. Those are all of my emotes, including the bit reward emotes that you can acquire by cheering the corresponding number of bits. It doesn't have to be all at once, it can be accumulative. So, for example, if you can only, say, afford 100 bits, which is equivalent to $1 US, then if you choose to cheer more bits later down the line, either during the same stream or even a different stream while I'm live, then, well, you'll be able to accumulate more and more bits until, or more or less cheer more bits until you're able to get the rewards. What kind of VTuber avatar would I use? That is a very good question. Honestly, I might use one that's related to Snivy. Heck, I may even turn my one Snivy OC into one. To be specific, it's the one named Kino. The one that kind of looks like a Servant. Why have I been signed out of the PlayStation Network? What the heck? Huh, that's strange. I don't know what's up with that. Error code. Yo, really? Alright, let's go ahead and sign in. Okay, there we go. Might have had a slight disconnection when it came to that. Thankfully, the stream itself is still perfectly fine. But the reason why the whole connection to the network is rather important is it's kind of required if I want to sync my trophies between the different PlayStation devices. haven't really used the lava gun yet. Although this isn't really a good place to use said weapon, unfortunately. Also, if you're wondering, I do have this as my primary PlayStation 3. I only have one PS3, and that would be the PS3 Slim. It's not the Super Slim, it's the one after the fat PS3 was released. It's basically the second model, the second revision, or the, more or less, yes, the second revision. The one where the size is smaller. Okay, there we go, we're done. Also, we have our first trophy up here. Gimme. Snivy anime girl with... yeah, big bazingas. No. You're barking up the wrong tree in that regard. Just saying. When it comes to me and my artwork, I am purely a safe-for-work artist. Occasionally, some things may be considered suggestive, though that is never the intention. I'm gonna try using this again. Try to get this up to level 2, if I possibly can. It's just gonna take quite a while for this thing to even be able to level up. Neat. Also, if you're wondering what the second Snivy OC is, her name is Aqua. She does look like a regular Snivy, a regular everyday Snivy, except her eyes are cyan. But her tail is more aquatic-like, it has more aquatic features. And it's because of that special tail of hers, it allows her to be really proficient in swimming. You know how Snivies typically aren't really known for swimming? Well, Aqua is the exception to that rule. Just because of that tail. And it's also one of her favorite pastimes, too. Oh, there you go. A little bit of lore for Aqua. And if you're wondering what my Typhlosion OC is, he just looks like a regular, everyday Typhlosion. But there's more to him than meets the eye. His name is Max. And he's a very good boy. Just the poor guy's been mistreated and just abused in like some of the worst ways possible. Hell, he even lost his best friend because they took their own lives. Sadly. But that was before he met Kino and Aqua. Things are a lot better now for him, though. Okay. Well, that's more enemy forces down. On to the next switch. Bye-bye. Never played Pokemon, just Power World. Fair enough. I never played Power World, but I've played plenty of Pokemon games. I have no interest in Power World, in all honesty. I'm kind of surprised that the developers were even able to make Power World to begin with, because many of us, myself included, saw it as nothing more than a Pokemon ripoff, but it turned out to be incredibly successful. Like, surprisingly so. Like, holy moly. Never expected it to be so big. And now there's a new contender on the horizon that is a blatant ripoff of not only Pokemon, but also Power World 2. And I'm almost certain that game is going to get sued into the frickin' dirt by not only Nintendo, and let me tell you, you never want to mess with Nintendo's legal team, because they will destroy you in the courtroom. Just saying. But not only them, but also the developers of Power World, which I believe they're known as Pocket Pair. They're going to sue the developers of this new upcoming Pokemon Power World ripoff hybrid thing. I think it's called, Jeez, I don't even remember the name of the title. It's just, yeah, made the rounds recently online, and just it became pretty big news because not only do they have a Steam page for people to wishlist the game, but they also have the balls to say that they're going to release the game eventually on the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4, 5, or whatever. Well, Sony consoles. You know, obviously not the PS3, because that thing is ancient history. But even so, I'm just saying, kind of crazy. Now, the ripoff was even able to get that far into development without being ceased and desisted for God knows how long. Also, this is another planet which we will have to come back to later because we have one of these grapple points. Unfortunately, we do not have the gadget to be able to even slingshot our way across. It sucks, but it is what it is. Like I said, we'll be back later. It ain't a big deal. Once we acquire absolutely everything that we need to within the game, once we reach the end game, and we are close to the final mission, then I'll definitely do some cleanup. For sure. For now, though, we have some things to take care of. By the way, another place you could go to potentially level up many weapons throughout the game would be Annihilation Nation. You could replay earlier events just to level up weapons that way, but I wouldn't really recommend it, especially for the earlier events, because like I said, the weapon leveling scales. So the more powerful the foe the weapon takes down, the more weapon XP it will earn. So if you wait until a future plan to level up a weak weapon, then it will level up incredibly quickly. Just saying. Don't know you are interested in several elements of Power World in this fun, but never played Pokemon before. You definitely should give it a try. Definitely give it a chance. Sure, people consider it to be like a baby's game, and it's rather easy, especially in the modern era, for sure. But I would definitely recommend picking up, say, Pokemon Scarlet or Pokemon Violet on the Nintendo Switch. But I would recommend playing that game on the Nintendo Switch 2, if you happen to have it. Because playing the game on Switch 1 is about as fun as yanking out your wisdom teeth. In other words, it looks and runs like absolute garbage. Even on Switch 2, it doesn't really look that much better, but it runs a hell of a lot smoother and it's a lot more stable. Speaking from experience here, I've sunk hundreds of hours into Pokemon Violet specifically, and most of that playtime was on the Switch 1. I didn't really play it much on the Switch 2 because, well, I didn't own a Switch 2 around the time that the Switch 2 update came around, unfortunately. It took quite a while for me to acquire a Switch 2, and when I did, man, it was like playing a completely brand new game. I'm not kidding. It is that much of an experience. It's that big of a frickin' jump. Boom, baby, boom.
Time to finish the job, Ratchet. Get moving.
That I will do. Let's get to it now, shall we? Time to finish the job. Which that shouldn't be too hard to do. Here we have our next boss fight. Well, that sure was delayed. As far as what weapon I'm going to try to use here, I may try pulling this out and try to take down the boss with it. Probably won't be able to do very much damage, but it'll be better than nothing. I feel like Power World where you capture cartoon animals. You do the same sort of thing in Pokemon as well, at least with the mainline games.